lineages. Cultural practices distinguish immigrant Shia in urban areas of Sindh and parts of Punjab from those living in the northwest frontier province in WFP, which in April 2010 was renamed Khyber Pakhtunkhwa Province and Balochistan. These immigrants mostly settled in Karachi.
Shiism and sectarian conflict in Pakistan. Identity politics. Iranian influence and tit-for-tat violence. Islam came to the Indian subcontinent in numerous waves. Beginning in the late 7th century, Muslim traders and Sufi saints introduced Islam to various parts of the region. Even before, Muslim conquerors from Central Asia established their power base in northern India. Islam's early proponents in South Asia were quite tolerant of local cultural traditions, like poetry and music, and encouraged assimilation and coexistence. 9 Sufi saints also stood above sectarian identity. They neither proselytized nor confronted others on matters of religious discourse. Love for humanity was their message, and inclusivity was their method. That said, in a number of important ways, Sufis were closer to Shia views than Sunni. Considering their reverence for Ahle-Bayt, family of the Prophet in general, and their association with Ali ibn Abi Talib, who represents for Shia the central figure of Islam after the Prophet Muhammad. Indeed, almost all Sufi orders trace their spiritual lineage to the Prophet Muhammad through Ali. Sufis believe that Ali inherited from Muhammad the saintly power known as Wilayah, which makes possible the spiritual journey to God. In Sufi teachings, Ali is often referred to as the patron saint. The first Shia in the Indian subcontinent were of Arab origin and settled in the Sindh region in the 9th century 10. According to Emre Schimmel, a renowned German scholar of Islam, from roughly the 13th to the 15th century, Shia influence was strong in many independent, small states and regions within the larger Indian subcontinent, including Delhi, Mao Jumper, Kashmir Bengal, Deccan Jaipur, and Golconda, Carnatic and Gujarat 11. By the early 16th century, at the beginning of the era of mule rule of the Indian subcontinent, Muslim elites in the region were generally either Shia, Persian nobles, or Sunni Afghans, along with less influential Indian Muslim converts. Generally liberal attitude of various mule kings. Shia institutions strengthened during the Mule period, which lasted from 1526 until 1857.13. However, Shia-Sunni tensions became pronounced during the reign of the conservative Sunni Mule Emperor Aurangzeb of Alamgir, 1659 to 1707. 14 According to the historian Saidathur Abbas Rizvi, by the turn of the 19th century, these divisions developed into full-scale polemical warfare, each side accusing the other of being heretics and infidels. This rivalry was also fueled in part by the puritanical Wahhabi movement in Arabia, led by Abdul Wahhab, 1703 to 1792. An influential Islamic scholar named Shah Waliullah had a branch of this movement in Mule India. He wrote letters addressing many Muslim rulers and notables of the Indian subcontinent, calling for harsh measures against Hindus, as well as Shia, including a ban on the Hindu festival, Holi and the Shia Muharram events.
Shah Waliullah believed that Shias were the real power behind the Mule throne, and he was also very critical of the Mule practice of appointing Hindus to important administrative positions. In his view, the only effective prescription for restoring the supremacy of Islam in India was to break the power of Hindus and curb Shia influences. He was not the first influential proponent of such ideas. Earlier in the Mule period, Sheikh Ahmed Suhaimi, 1564–1624, popularly known as Mujaddid al-Thani, a leading Muslim scholar at the time, had proposed that Sunnis cut off relations with Shia, but Mule rulers had frustrated such designs. Today, the writings of these scholars are often quoted by conservative theologians associated with Sunni extremist groups in Pakistan. Nevertheless, Shia political strength continued to grow in the empire. During the 18th century, the Shia ruled provinces of Bengal and Awadh and the Mule Kingdom emerged as centers of Shia learning and activism. They also financed many development projects and mosques in Iraq, thus strengthening links between Shia in South Asia and those in the Middle East. Owing to the prominence of the Shia community in Awadh, many of its practices and traditions became popular among Shia communities in different parts of the empire. Some of these practices were inspired by local Hindu rituals and were deemed controversial, even by Shia religious scholars. According to the historian Sandria Freitag, Hindu influence helped create a Shiting traditional culture that was transcommunal. Other important ritualistic influences came from Iran. For instance, the Iranian practice of chest beating during the Muharram commemoration was introduced in India by the Shia religious scholar Sayyid Dildar Ali Nasser Abadi in the late 18th century. While the Iranian practice of holding Zuliana processions was introduced in Lahore by Shia politician and philanthropist Nawab Ali Raza Khan Kisalbash, as late as the 19th century, the Urdu-speaking Shia immigrants who moved from the north of India to West Pakistan in 1947 brought these traditions with them. And even today, these religious, cultural practices distinguish immigrant Shia in urban areas of Sindh and parts of Punjab from those living in the northwest frontier province in WFP, which in April 2010 was renamed Khyber Pakhtunkhwa Province and Balochistan. These immigrants mostly settled in Karachi, Hyderabad, and in the vicinity of Lahore, leading to a significant increase in the Shia population in these areas. In Karachi alone, a city of roughly 12 million at present, over to Shia processions and 45,000 majlis, religious gatherings, mourning the tragedy of Karbala, arranged during the first 10 days of the Islamic month of Muharram. These Shia immigrants are generally more educated than the local Karashutes, a contrast with Shia communities in the rest of the country, especially in rural areas of Punjab, which have lower literacy rates than the national average. Notwithstanding, many acclaimed poets of the 18th and 19th centuries, including Mirza Sadullah, Kanga Lib Mir Anis, Mir Taki Mir Mirza Rafi Sauda, and Kawai Mir Dard, were all Shia. The collapse of the Mule Empire in the 19th century and the corresponding rise of British imperial power in India profoundly altered the political dynamics of the region. In this changing scenario, the Shia elite developed working relations with the new British rulers. British forces had conquered the Shia-ruled Bengal province in 1757 and defeated the Shia governor of Awadh in 1764. Nevertheless, Shia leaders were able to win important concessions from the British. For instance, the British government allowed endowment transactions between Awadh and Shia scholars, Mujahideen of Iraq. Consequently, By the end of the 18th century, the British agent in Baghdad became a distributor of Awads, largest to the Mujahids in Najaf and Karbala. An important development of the British imperial era was the founding of the Al-Qaeda Muslim University in Lucknow. One of its key founders was Sir Syed Ahmed Khan, 1817 to 1898, a leading Muslim reformist. The university produced a new class of Muslim scholars and political activists who played a crucial role in the creation of Pakistan. Among Syed Ahmed, Shia supporters and colleagues were renowned educationists and reformers like Syed Hussain, Bill Grammy, Major Syed Hasan, Bill Grammy, Maulvi Shirag Ali, Mohsen Ul Mulk, who later became Sunni. Just aside, Amir the author of the famous book, The Spirit of Islam, and Maulana Karamat Hussain. Many teachers and alumni of Al-Qaeda University were central participants in the All India Muslim League, which was founded in 1906 in Dhaka, which is now the capital of Bangladesh. The League was the first political party exclusively representing the interests of Muslims in the Indian subcontinent. Despite the fact that many prominent Shia were among the founders of the League, a Shia-Sunni political split of sorts occurred when a number of Shia political activists and religious scholars established the All India Shia Conference in 1907 in response to the creation of the League. According to the British scholar Francis Robinson, secular participants took the lead in setting the agenda of the initial meetings of the Shia Conference. Within a few years, however, conservative Shia ulema scholars took charge and began emphasizing the need for religious education in government schools. This turn of events discouraged the secular Shia members of the conference, who started leaving the organization and later joined the Muslim League. As the sociologist Hamza Alavi wrote, given the fact that leading Shias were active in the Muslim League instead, the Shia Conference did not make any headway. Hence, by the early 20th